Welcome back, champions. Oh, that sounds muted. My name is Dylan, and I am coming to you once again from Codename Entertainment's quaint little green streaming closet in beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada. It has been a while, hasn't it? I haven't shaved because I still have my vacation beard kind of a bit, and I'm in desperate need of a haircut, but I haven't managed to get an appointment yet with my barber. And lots of stuff just going on all over. I'm just gonna tweak these mic settings because I'm not a big fan of how this sounds. Hello. You know, when it comes to everything related to the audio setup and the streaming room, I'm just gonna blame Chris right off the bat because he did all kinds of funky stuff in here. But in all seriousness, I'd actually like to give a huge shout out to Chris, hashtag blame Chris Dupuis, for taking the reins of the weekly Q&As and live streams for the 4 weeks or so I was out of the office. It was a lot of extra work to take on, and I really appreciate his doing so. So thank you, Chris. And also, before we begin, I'd like to thank Dungeons & Dragons and the folks over at Wizards of the Coast for allowing us to join you each week on the official D&D Twitch channel. It is and will always be an honor to be here. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not thank Erica and Clive for all their help co-producing and moderating our show. I couldn't do it without you. So my guest today will be joining me in about an hour to draw something special. But if you have any art-related questions, we'll save them. We'll save them for Kat. But until then, what would you like to talk about? Ask me whatever you like. I think I have a game running here that is just in a free play of the event for Spurt, trying to build up some extra favor, and it's weird. I can see the out of sync issue, and I haven't got the slightest clue right now live what it is with the setup that is leading to it. So that's strange because that's a new problem. Hashtag blame Chris. That I'm going to have to try and figure out why we have that issue now, because we've never had it before. So that's great. We're off to a great start. Everything's great. Everything's fine. Hi, Ogmok, Skippy Off the Wired, Soul Reaver, Monkey Zone, Gabriel 442, Sketch Monkey, Real Japesy, Alien Gold. I see, I don't know if it's DC Lazer or Declasser, Cal with a whole bunch of 4s. Fiery Crystal was one of the first. I am well, Fiery Crystal. How are you? But just want to welcome everybody back. It's very strange, the syncing issue, and I have a few idea of what the culprits could be, but I don't know how to fix any of them while we're live. So perhaps it'll be at least a little bit less distracting with the smaller me here instead of the giant me taking up the tavern background, and then I can figure out what the F is causing it, because everything looks correct. Hi Mars, Ted Faster, Orcish Librarian, Big Beef Stud Pile. Interesting. The background that would be Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, and in slightly fast motion due to the rare speed potion that this is using. I haven't had a huge amount of time to play the event yet, but just kind of testing out an Archon Spurt formation, trying to capitalize on as many buffs as possible, and it seems strong. I'm sure some other players will know more about that than I do soon enough. No upgrades. Anyways, I think what I'm going to do is, despite the fact that I'm nowhere near my wall, because I'm only in the 200s, I'm going to complete this adventure now, pray that it doesn't crash, and I will do a viewer's choice variant, since I don't think I've started any of the variants in the running 2 or the running year 2 yet. So, hey, RNG blessed me with a gold chest. That's nice. Why don't you let me know which one of these you want me to do, and I will kind of give everybody a bit of a recap on the very busy 4 weeks I've had and some of the other things that are going on. So first things first, we're doing our regular gold supply chest giveaways during in chat for those who are here. But we are also doing something that is for both for those who are here and those who are not. We're doing another Gleam giveaway, and Clive and Erica, or Clive or Erica, can share those links. But we got these really cool minis from Gale Force 9. The epic and awesome John Paul sends these out to some folks in the D&D community. And so I have Collector's Series minis, unpainted, for the Xanathar, Halaster Blackcloak, and Archon the Cruel. And it's an Archon the Cruel that has the Hand of Vecna. I don't know if the camera can even really see that. Kind of. So we're going to be giving all three of those away to whomever wins the draw on our latest Gleam. So if you like minis and you want these, sign on up. Yeah, and we will announce the winners on next week's stream. Sorry, the winner, and then we'll ship it out. So, what's the what variant should I be doing? Because it's just kind of sitting stagnant in the background. Does anybody have a variant idea that they would like for me to do? Alignment askew. I see a few people saying that. Alignment askew, alignment. Okay, fine. All right. Sorry, I had to scroll up because it's hard to pay attention to things at the same time. So what is this one? Must have completed. Basic attack cooldowns are increased based on the number of lawful champions. Damage is increased based on the number of neutral. Ultimate attack cooldowns are increased on the number of chaotic. Okay. This should be interesting. So... how the heck did it do that? Weird. Alrighty, so lawful. What is it? Lawful for damage? I'm not going to remember this. I mean, I'm kind of just going towards my Archon formation already. Because why not? Although I don't know if I have enough favor to just do that. I think the first formation I have is a Black Viper formation, so maybe I'll do that one. Oh, that's hilarious. So I have this like sort of playlist of music going right now that is from an old Codename Entertainment title called Shards of Titan. And props to anybody who actually played it because it was pretty cool. But we have unused music from it here, so I'm just kind of going through. I'm actually gonna remove a few of these tracks that would be so strange to hear right now, and I'm gonna switch this up to this one and just keep it going in a loop because it'll be less distracting for me. So does anybody have any questions about anything related to the game, or if you want to ask me about my trip? Heyaru said, "Hey, nice meeting you at PAX." It was probably nice meeting you as well. PAX East was a whirlwind. I was thoroughly exhausted for much of it, so. But it was fun. It was fun. It's fun to actually get to meet people because just in the video game industry. I mean, by its very nature, you're not directly meeting a lot of people who play your game, so it's very cool. Fire Crystal asked me how I am. I'm good. I mean, I look tired, but it has more to do with allergies and antihistamines than it does with actually being tired. Just kind of catching up on sleep because after PAX East, I kind of just hit a wall and was very tired. And a couple of days after I flew back from Boston to Victoria, I flew out to Hawaii, where I was for another couple of weeks. And so I'm just kind of like, I'm still getting back into the swing of things. Last week was my first week back in the office for a full week, except for I wasn't here on Thursday. I just slept. So no stream last week, but I'm catching up. I'm getting there. Let's see. Glad to see Forgotten Realms still represented. Was sad to see the book series fade. I think you're not alone in that big beef stud pile. I know Erin M. Evans is interested in writing more if she can, and it's just kind of like it's the decisions around it and a lot of the other stuff, because the D&D team is such a small team, and they're very focused on what they do best, which is make books and further develop the RPG. So it's just kind of, yeah, there's a lot of things that are shifting around. But we'd like to see more ourselves. I know that R.A. Salvatore is still doing Dritz books at least. So yeah. Gabriel 442, where is Raceland as a champion? So as somebody who read at least 40 Dragonlance novels, it would be nothing short of awesome to have Raceland Majir in game as a champion. That would be rad. Although it would be difficult to have Raceland without also having, Cameron or is it Caramon? Cameron, I can't quite remember. It's been a while. And a lot of the other characters, as long as there are no Kender. Unfortunately, like this being an idle a game focused on the Forgotten Realms, we do focus more on that. It's very, very difficult to justify the idea of any champions coming from Kryn, though not impossible. There's always a chance, but it's unlikely. Zephyrite 24. Will Caddy Bree be getting a more proper rework during the Year 1 Champion rework, or is what she got with her crit change this update all she's getting? So we're going to wait and see how things play out, because we take things slow. But from what I understand, she will be getting looked at again with the Year 1 Champion balance update. It's going to be a much bigger update than the Core Champion rework, since it's 17 event champions plus 3 evergreens and not just 12 core champions that we're looking at. So, but yeah, the Caddy Bree and the companions of the Hall in general are champions that we want to do more with. We will be putting the same eye towards it that we did with the core champion balance update and the underperformers like Dritz. Expect at least the same amount of attention as we gave the amazing Jarlaxle this last time around. The mom unit art question. Oh wait, no, it's coloring book thing. Okay, so coloring book update. So originally we had hoped for our coloring book to launch free, along with our core champion balance update, but we hit a bit of a snag behind the scenes that I can't get into. That has led to a delay with it. And so I don't have an update on that yet, except to say that, yes, we also want to release it. We would love to have, all of our champions done as coloring sheets and stuff. So it's coming, but yeah. Cal4444, why aren't you more tan? Well, it's funny because I was trying to reset the webcams that we use when I got back, and I just could not get the color quite right. And my skin is dark enough when compared to pretty much anybody else in the office that I don't want their skin to be this bright beacon of shining light with the color balance. So part of that is that the cameras are not color balanced and set up the way that I would like. Another part of it is that I did not get as much sun in Hawaii as I wanted to. I had pretty intense allergies going into my trip, the likes of which I have literally never had before, that required medication and a lot more time spent out of the sun than I wanted. So it was a little disappointing, but allergic to the holidays, maybe a little bit a corpse, but it's more that one of the things they don't tell you about getting older is that parts of your body cease to function as well as they could and don't heal as well as they could and all these other things. But another crappy thing that can happen is you can just develop more like food sensitivities or whatever. And so whatever it is, because I have yet to figure out what it is that's triggered it, and I have an appointment with an allergy specialist, or I'm trying to get an appointment with an allergy specialist sometime in the next month, hopefully. Don't know what triggered it, but it caused a severe enough initial reaction that it took weeks to start getting better. And it really messed up the first week of my trip in Hawaii, But luckily, I have family there. There's lots of things to do. Had lots of great food. Somebody was asking what the best food I ate on my travels. Casual Connor, what was the best food you ate in Hawaii? Um, so I have a whole bunch of family in Hawaii, and I have three half brothers there. The oldest of which, Rorik, he's only a few years younger than I am. He is lucky enough to have an amazing partner who is this badass Italian woman who is an amazing cook, and she made the best food I had while I was in Hawaii. I mean, I ate out at a lot of places and I had some good meals at restaurants and other things, but I did a family barbecue where they did all the usual suspects for like a Hawaiian barbecue, and she made poke from scratch herself. That was easily the best I've had in my life. It was absolutely phenomenal. Poke is made out of ahi tuna. Um, it's practically a raw dish, but there's seasoning and stuff involved. And she was just, yeah, no, she wasn't making a Italian food, Zephyrite. She was making Hawaiian food at least as good, if not better than Hawaiians make it, because she comes from a family of cooks and she knows what she's doing. Everything she made was amazing. Um, let's see, encrypted 911. Is there a way to merge your account from your phone to your PC? There is not. And it's not necessarily something that might ever happen. There's a lot of rules that small companies like us have to abide by, and that larger companies like Blizzard or Epic Games can probably ignore when it comes to cross-platform stuff. I can't get into it in a way that will satisfy anybody with my answer, except to say that it's not something that we're looking at doing. And that doesn't mean that it's impossible and that it'll never happen, but there's nothing more I can share about it at this time, unfortunately. Sir Monstein, already love Spurt and think he might always be in my formations. Hey, I'm glad. We love Spurt too. And, Spurt as a champion has been a real labor of love for Chris. He's been spearheading that and pushing that forward the entire time. He did the design, and then now, Justin worked on it too, but most of that came together while I was away, and we were worried we'd never be able to get people to switch away from Naeli, so we're glad that at least some players are considering it. Fiery Crystal, what would you be doing for the next few weeks now that you're back? Well, I'm back this week and next week, and then the week after that I will be at D&D Live 2019, The Descent in Los Angeles, along with Eric. It looks like another one of our Chris Rudrum will be possibly joining us as well. We will be we will be there, and we will be dressed up and at times in character, and that's probably all I can say about that without Tito showing up and killing me for spoiling something. So so that's what I'm going to be doing. Not next week, but the following week. In the meantime, I'm catching up on stuff that I missed while I was gone, updates, getting more familiar with what happened in the few weeks that I'm gone, because we moved at a pretty fast pace. And because I'm going to be at the Descent, and that's going to take up a week of my time, more or less, I'm looking at what I can do to get my work done for next week and the following week, so that Chris and Clive aren't buried under all of my extra tasks while I'm gone. James Rhodes. Why was Spurt made a rogue? Oh, excuse me. Instead of an artificer. That's a really good question. It's so when we adapt a champion, I can't answer that directly in the sense that I can't give you the exact reason why we did that, but I can speak to why we approach characters the way that we do in Idle Champions. So as much as possible, we stick to published TRPG books in 5e. Because of that, and because we're focused on the Forgotten Realms, that means that we make adjustments to some characters at times. Kobold inventors are, a monster a race option. I want to say that they're in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, would be my guess. Or maybe Volo's Guide to Monsters. And so we kind of just adapted that into like a base class. Like just we went with rogue because artificer. I know they've done several iterations of it, and you can the newest one you can use on D&D Beyond, but we just kind of went with this because we felt it was a little closer to the Spurt that we got to know and love briefly on the one episode of Critical Role. Fully developing a kit for him using everything the Artificer has at its disposal was probably just something a little bit more grand than we want to do, and maybe not so much a part of our favorite 11-day-old Kobold. But then also, it's we hope to do an Artificer at some point, but it's just kind of, it was like, what could we do that best fit this, and Rogue was what we came up with. Why is he lawful evil and not chaotic evil? That's a great question for Chris. So I will wait for Erica to reach out to him. As I understand it, because I was gone, much of the design of Spurt was a collaboration between Chris Dupuis and Chris Perkins, and so they just kind of back and forthed everything on it, and got Chris Perkins, the blessing of the Perkins on how to move forward. But it was, he's also busy working on, whatever the next adventure is and a million other things at D&D. So like we, some things we kind of ran away with a little more. My personal guess, because while I'm waiting for this answer, is actually that I'm pretty sure they're just lawful evil in the book, so that's probably what happened. Solo feed only. I have gold, pink gold pieces because I have Cathris Straub in my formation, and so extra gold kind of shows up as pink, and as after you collect enough coins, a monster appears. Oh darn! I was hoping it would do it right when I did that, because that would have been perfect, but alas. Alrighty. So, plunk. That should move everybody around the way that I want. Yeah, just waiting on. And then Bologna. No, let me finish moving my characters around. Gosh darn it. Chris just responded in our chat. He said, in our personal chat, I don't know if it's in the chat, that it's because Kobold inventors in the book are just lawful evil. So that's why we went with lawful evil for Spurt. Just going to level everybody up a bit. Alrighty, how is everybody liking the skip cinematics option? Because I gotta say, it's nice. Within 2 slots? No, I'll just do back tactics, even though there's no other kobolds in here right now. Behind. Melee. Been experimenting with Regis with Black Viper. I don't know how much I like it, but it's working for me so far. Alright, that should do everybody for a bit. Although, will this even work if there's nobody on screen? No, it won't. I gotta wait until the next screen. Darn. I just wanna kill Spurt first thing. Splorch. There we go. Oh man, that's so savage. Kudos to Adam on his graphic portrayal of Spurt's untimely demise. Who knew how far the kobold would get with that? All right, so chuckle style question, but more comments. Shout out to whomever made flying distractions bounce off the screen edge. Always makes me laugh. Also, Spurt's ult is hilarious. That's actually one of my favorite little details, and I couldn't tell you who on the dev team is responsible for that, but those are details I really like. Nicole Jolson, can we please get the option to spend gems to buy supply chests with ones with just potions, bounty, and blacksmith contracts? I can't really get into that topic, except to say that when it comes to the idea of spending gems on anything other than the chests that are already listed in the store, the gold and silver chests and familiars, that it's part of a greater discussion around earning gems and a storefront and ways that the game can be exploited currently, and so it's unlikely to change right now. It doesn't mean it never will, but it's unlikely to change right now. Hellish Dream. Given that we've been to Barovia, is there any chance we could get Lord Sloth? It's an end run around him being a Dragonlance character in on Kryn, but he did spend time in Ravenloft. It's about as much of a reach as Warden is. Rules lawyering is required by my lawful evil nature. Those are all fair points. The interesting thing around Warden is that we had the okay to create a Warforged character, which is like, that's about as far outside the official TRPG books as we've gotten. And like, I mean, Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, Keith Baker and Rudy Rutenberg's project, like, it's got, you know, it's tied a little closer to Wizards of the Coast than a lot of supplemental D&D material that's made by third parties has been. And this is a rumor, because I don't know this for sure, but as I understand it, there's always a chance that they might do another official Eberron book, in which case they would draw from it. But so getting Warden wasn't a fluke, but it was something that like we had access to, and we, you know, the stars kind of aligned to allow us to do it. Generally, Wizards tries to keep us on track with Forgotten Realms 5th edition, you know, Faerun. So, you know, I'm not saying a character from Kryn is impossible. Because it's not. But, you know, another part to that actually is who owns what matters a great deal when it comes to these things. And, you know, if Wizards of the Coast actually owns the IP, or Hasbro owns the IP. No, Wizards of the Coast, I think, because we only deal with Wizards of the Coast, not Hasbro. So if they have easy access to these characters because they are owned by them, then we have... Then things are a little different when it comes to it. But when they're not owned by them, it's a whole other ball game of discussions, negotiations, contracts, etc., behind the scenes that make that more challenging. So, yeah. Any updates on the ETA for console and tablet codes? I understand this is a subject that quite a number of our players are eagerly awaiting. I don't have anything I can share officially on that subject yet, except to say yes, it is in development. It is very much in development, and it is something that will be backwards compatible. So if you have been saving codes that aren't expired, they will work for you once the system is in place. Other than that, I have to be tight-lipped on the subject for a number of reasons that I can't actually disclose. But yes, it is being done, and you know, hopefully it is soon. All right, so Dr. T's loot. I think there's a glitch with Spurt's green arrows when you do the Centipult specialization. If you're seeing that kind of thing, if you're seeing any kind of glitch, or you think you're seeing a glitch, feel free to open an in-game support ticket and contact our devs directly, because they will take a look. Derm 1782. How do I access the event? I'm a fairly new player and I can't seem to locate it. You will need to be on the world map screen, and depending on your platform, the menu on the left should say, Grand Tour of the Sword Coast, Tomb of Annihilation, Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and then the running below it, on sort of like a hanging tapestry. So you just select the event and select a variant, and you play it, and you can unlock different characters and gear them up, and etc. Now, that being said, if you're not seeing it show up, check to make sure that you have the latest version of the game, or if you've been running the game for a long period of time, restart it, because sometimes it's a different thing. Hawker & Co. talking about Archon. See, the thing about Archon is that we met Joe, and by we I mean Eric and Clive, and Joe's like, I want Archon in your game. and we were able to make that happen. And he's also on Force Grey, so he was part of a D&D series that took place in 5th edition and in the Tomb of Annihilation. So like we had access to Archon in a way that we don't to some characters. But also Joe's just awesome, and he's like, I want to put Archon in your game. And we were like, yes, Joe, please don't kill us because you're like 9 times our size. All right, Draven. Will we see any Critical Role characters appear in Idle Champions? That is a great question that I will never be able to answer to anybody's satisfaction, except to say we would love to. Just straight up, we would love to. Whether or not that happens, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were busy before their Kickstarter blew up the world and totally redefined entertainment Kickstarters, and they just set a new value on their IP or on parts of their IP that, and they're already so busy, and it's gonna take so much for them to reward the like 80,000 backers they just had. So, there's always a chance, and we cross our fingers hoping that it might be the case. But I wouldn't hold your breath about any of the characters from either campaign, either Vox Machina or the Mighty Nine, making an appearance in Idle Champions. It would be cool, but. Yeah, I don't know what the odds are on that these days. Alrighty, will there be a chance of putting the flash effect on enemy hit to a separate settings toggle? I want to see the animations on familiars, lighting, bees, etc., but find flashing while hit effects headache-inducing. I'll make a note on that. It's a tricky thing, trying to accommodate like visual sensitivities with our settings, and the worry on our end is that we'll kind of go down a dev rabbit hole and dedicate too much time to trying to isolate all these different effects and make all these different options and toggles that affect a tiny percentage of our players. And like we're just so in it when it comes to our regular content schedule and updates. I mean, the team hired another developer while I was gone, this awesome dude named Max. But even then, like, we got more help, but it's just kind of, it's something that, when you're a company as small as ours, we worry about where we're putting our resources the most effectively. So, yeah, I will make a note and pass that along to David, and add it onto the list of QOL stuff. But yeah, alrighty. Elemental Nimbus. Is it possible to make event champions gear includable in gold chests? I realize the fiscal risks for you. However, the current system overvalues Evergreen long term severely. It does favor Evergreen as Evergreen / core champions in terms of earning equipment for them. But this is a game that's free to play, and like, we rely on the cadence of our updates and the way that it's currently designed to keep the lights on, keep me employed, keep our devs employed, etc. So I think it's extremely unlikely that event champions will ever have their equipment show up in just gold chests. But that being said, we acknowledge that we could do more to make it easier for players to earn equipment and, importantly, item levels for their event champions outside of events, and that time gates did not fill that niche to a level that completely satisfies us. So, we have more stuff being planned to help with that, but yeah, specifically putting event champion loot in gold chests is an unlikely solution. All right, next question. Would you ever consider doing some sort of contest to allow people's characters in? As it stands, the champion is based upon lore popularity or character popularity through streams, Dritz versus Diath. But for somebody who isn't popular, could it be something to consider allowing someone to get their own character in, or some sort of customizable champion? So customizable champions are unlikely, just because with the way that we've designed the game, even just if you looked at the player's handbook before you add racial options from Volos or other sources, or character / subclass options from other things, and never minding multi-classing, there are enough basic PHB playable races and classes And then then you have the whole gender aspect, or like what skin color your dragonborn is, what their background. There are like too many customizable aspects that like it would create hundreds of permutations that like with the way that we built the game, we just can't handle that workload. But that being said, so like customizable characters in game, unlikely. It's just the way we've designed the game isn't going to make that a realistic possibility for us. However, the idea that a player's character could get in the game is not impossible, because that's actually, quite frankly, something that we technically do all the time. We just tend to do it with characters who are from live shows and the books. I don't know. It's a topic that it gets brought up on a semi-regular basis internally, and it used to be a topic that was a flat no, and that has wavered and become a and so like there's discussion on it now. I don't want to make any promises, but let's just say that revisiting the subject over and over again doesn't hurt the cause. DC Backroads, any idea on when we will get a level cap increase? That's a great question. I am not caught up enough on our development pipeline, what's coming down the pipe, to know the answer to it, except to say that it has been a little longer this time around between level cap increases than it was last time. Part of that was because of things like the core champion balance update, because it changes up the game enough that like you need to take that into account when you do level cap increases. And the last one came with the tanking, healing, and shielding update, as they call it. So yeah, I would expect one sooner rather than later. But yeah. Telex76, any chance the offline gold can be increased? We're pretty happy with where it's at right now. But that being said, it's more realistic that you leave your PC running and you tab out to do work, and the game is still going and earning you gold, than it is to keep your like Xbox One running on your television, since you might want to watch television, watch TV or Netflix or whatever, Game of Thrones. So it's a discussion that I can bring up with the devs. But contextually, like we're pretty happy with how the update to offline gold generation went. So yeah. Mikael Jolson, who's your favorite tank? I'm guessing Elin. I messed her last year, but I'm looking forward to the upcoming event. I have a huge amount of attachment to Strix and Evelyn, having met Anna and Holly on a number of occasions, and just like the characterization of them, and they've shown up on Acquisitions Incorporated and all this stuff, and they're just wonderful. And so there's like I do have that aspect to it. I was just like with this formation, I was just trying to think of like what can I do to make Black Viper as good as possible. Here, and one of the things I should do to make her as good as possible is probably level her up until she actually gets red gems more frequently, because whoops. I'll just level everybody up here because it's needed. But yeah, big fan of Evelyn. That being said, Archon is amazing these days, but I don't use him as a tank. I use him as a DPS because he's just nuts. Because Paladins are OP and 5e is basically it. Divine Smite is total. I don't know how that got through playtesting. I mean, come on. I'm kidding. But like, it's so good. It's like, oh, I crit on this attack. I'm gonna Divine Smite at this level. Kaboom. Or like, I'm gonna, yeah, just all the shenanigans you can get up to. And for all you min-maxers out there who like playing D&D, I highly encourage you to test out either a Paladin Sorcerer multiclass, at least level 12 plus, or a Paladin Warlock subclass, Hexblade, ideally. The former can use Quicken and Twin Spell to do some absolutely ridiculous stuff with their just Nova damage per round. Whereas the latter, not many know, but you can use both Divine Smite and Eldritch Smite on the same attack. And Eldritch Smite doesn't have a limit to the number of spell levels it can use. So, yeah, you can literally do hundreds of damage on a single attack with them, depending on your rolls. So yeah, you want to try that out someday to make your DM angry. Just tell them that Dylan sent you. Okay, so what's the next question? I got distracted. Sorry if I missed it, but any details on the upcoming C-Team interaction event? I can't get into that yet because I think what's going to happen is they're on break right now, and when they come back is around the time that this all goes live. It's coming together. It's coming together after the running wraps up, actually. So, yeah. What I can say about it is that we took a lot of the feedback we received during the last High Rollers integration thing that we did last year. We took a lot of that feedback into account with how we developed this one. And this one should be of equal difficulty to both brand new players who have never played before and veteran players who have completed everything. Like, you guys will be on an even playing field, but both benefiting from it this time around. So, and I just want to give a shout out for the first time ever. We have an audience on Mixer. So hi, my name is Dylan. Welcome to the show. Usually we get maybe 50 to 100 people showing up on that channel, but today there's quite a number of you. So welcome. And if you have any questions, let me know. We have moderators both on Twitch and in Mixer who are relaying questions to me. So yeah, anything you want to know, fire away. Oh, and Reichster had also asked when Walnut arrives. Walnut is coming this summer. Yeah, and not to make Amy wait because we love Amy, but there are some things that lined up around it, and yeah. So Walnut is not the champion coming with the Great Modron March, but you can expect Walnut Dawngrass to join the champions not long after that. Giant Dwarf question. Is Spurt item slot 6 cool up slot capped? So it isn't right now, but there's always a possibility that will change. We're going to wait and see on that one. We want Spurt to be good, but like we don't want him to be overpowered. Yeah. Why was Spurt's affiliation not the Mighty Nine? Well, I mean, was Spurt really a member of the Mighty Nine? I know Caleb offered to induct Spurt into the Mighty Nine, but I don't know how official that is. But anyways, as I don't know how likely it is that the other members of the Mighty Nine joined the game, so we didn't give him an affiliation. I personally, and this is Dylan's conspiracy theory, I think it's likely that what happens over the course of the entire campaign is that enough PCs will meet their end, like, spoiler, Molly Mock, rest in peace, that when they finish the campaign, there will have been 9 members of the party. That's my conspiracy theory. Albzors. Are we getting Artemis and Trary at any point? He is such an awesome character. Yes, we are. Squishy Squashy. What about Taco, Merle, Magnus from the Adventure Zone? Taco, Merle, and Magnus from the Adventure Zone. We're a huge fan of the McElroys, and yeah, if the stars align and that can happen, we will see. Yeah. Zephyrite, what is with the 15-day thing on the time gate? And is it linked to the Acquisitions Incorporated thing happening? So the next naturally forming magical gate through time going live, they're timed to go live on the weekend in between events. So when an event is not running, time gates will naturally open. Though you can open your own at any time, provided it doesn't overlap with a naturally occurring time gate or the restrictions around it. So that's why the timer is 15 days. CN Emmerich, that's partly what blacksmithing contracts are for as well, right? Gives you a way to progress event champion equipment. It's true. And blacksmithing contracts help with that. But they don't help you collect pieces of armor. If you're one of the unusually unlucky people who manages to just not get any epics at all, or you have gaps in your equipment, or whatever. Blacksmithing contracts don't do much. So, yeah, but that is the purpose of blacksmithing contracts, is they allow you to, give some meaningful item level progress to the champions that you use the most. Krennic. Idea, event champion gear, time gates a bit more frequent. Additionally, during time gates, free plays options that cost gems and award silver chests. I mean, those are good ideas, and I can pass that along to Chris. But there's always a chance that will conflict with one of the other planned features we have coming up. So, because we are not feature complete, as they say. There's a lot of stuff we want to do. Alrighty. Would it be viable to cycle year 1 event gear into regular gold chests once we hit year 3 and start cycling event champions or whatever that plan was? I sense a recurring theme in our discussion today related to event champions and equipment and so on. Without retreading ground that I've already gone over this episode, I'm just going to make notes on this feedback because we appreciate that you guys are trying to work with us to find solutions that will work both for our game and for our free-to-play players and our, and so on. So I'll pass this stuff along to Chris and the devs, but I don't know necessarily what form or direction those kinds of things might take. Will event champions continue to receive custom skins, and will they have more than 2 or 3 or 4 down the line? It's kind of a case-by-case basis at this point. We definitely have a planned skin that may or may not happen because there's some cogs that need to turn behind the scenes in order to make things line up for it to work. But if it does work, I think that players will be very, very, very excited about it. Any chance Idle Champions could be coming to the Switch since it's on Xbox and PS4? I'm not officially able to comment on other potential platforms we might release on at this time. But that would be cool, wouldn't it? Seems like a good platform for it since you can take your Switch anywhere. Genbu, any tips for new players with these events and gaining favor? Honestly, Garwar or Silisa will give better, more in-depth answers on that subject than I will. Every run, whether it's a free play or whatever, I never go to 50 to get my chest and then reset right away. I always push to my wall all week long, to just get my favor as high as possible. That's my approach. And then I also just, almost set an alarm for myself so that on the Monday when the event wraps up, I make sure to spend any remaining event tokens on extra chests. Now, as you're building favor, it's totally okay to, if you're new to the game altogether, to build favor unlocking Caddy Bree and then build favor unlocking Spurt and then start approaching variants and mixing it up because you will build favor effectively with your event tokens, spreading it out between the two. That being said, it's kind of just it's funny. It's one of those things everybody kind of approaches it a little bit differently, but there are always what do you call it? Sorry, I'm hitting a wall this afternoon. I need caffeine or something after stream. There are always nuances to it based on which characters you use in your formation, because ultimately this is a single player game, and everybody has different equipment and item levels on their characters, unless you're a dedicated veteran who's been around since the start. In which case, everybody has the same equipment of all epics, with the vast majority of their equipment being shiny or higher. All right. Is there a better way to view champions by their affiliation, other than opening them one at a time and checking individually? I'm not really familiar with D&D streams, so I have no idea who is and isn't a Waffle Crew member, for example. There is not currently a better way than just going through the menus right now. We have no feature set to sort them through affiliation. I'm going to make a note on that because I think that because we are planning at some point to update our tablet / mouse and keyboard interface, the regular Steam UI that's the default. And when we do that, looking at the champion background screens and how those menus look and how the journal looks and stuff is going to be a part of that. Hi, Slisa. I am back. All right. Telstat, with your return, should we now revert to blaming you, or should we continue to blame Chris? Inquiring minds. Well, I mean, Chris is the live services manager for Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, so I mean, the vast majority of the decisions are his. So yes, blame Chris. You can blame me anytime I get something wrong, which is frequent. Let's see. Spurt's affiliation should have been Masonry Grout. Oh, that's savage, R Green Paradox. I like it, though. Are we getting new ways to upgrade Event Champion gear? I don't have anything official to comment on that subject, except to say that we acknowledge that time gates are not filling that niche to our satisfaction, and you know, we hear everybody's feedback on the subject. Elemental Nubus. The recurring theme is because the update made more core champions really good, it made event champion shortcomings much more poignant. I don't disagree. And I think that the year 1 champion balance update will address a lot of that. And I know that Justin has plans for portions of it. As it stands, you know, yeah, I mean, like, Dritz needs a rework, and the Companions of the Hall have not come together, have not assembled like the Avengers into something that is much more amazing than the sum of its parts. And so that we want to do something about that. And then there are other issues with our year 1 champions that we would like to address, tweak further. Yeah, it's still too early to get into it because nothing is locked in related to those changes yet. But we hear you. Could your featured chest of the day be made available in quantity 1 for 1,000, 5,000, 8,000 gems? Sorry to continue this theme. I can't give a yes or no answer to that. Like, the best I can do is promise to pass it along to the dev team, because the theme of today's show is chests and event chests and spending gems, and I'm glad it is because they've been ongoing discussions for quite some time. But yeah, we hear you, and thank you for the feedback. Ronan IC. I don't know if this has been asked, but how come the last 5 or 6 event champions were released with slot 1 golden epics instead of the other slots? That is a great question for Chris. Yeah, that is a great question for Chris. So Chris would have the definitive answer because ultimately he picks. But as I understand it, yeah, no, I'm just going to wait for a Chris answer. Like, maybe we can get a more definitive answer to that. I don't want to give you a bullshit answer on that. Blade Dragon 997. Who gets a shout out for the excellent art design of Spurt's gold chest? That's a good question. So let's see. Of late, Alexis and Adam have been doing the bulk of the art on those assets, so it was likely one of them. Yeah. So it was either Alexis or Adam. OG17. Can you say anything about how variants would end up being reused? Would it be more like set tiers in Crusaders or something that could be repeated indefinitely? I can't say anything about it because replaying variants is part of a new feature that is not locked in and is something that we want to put together. So it's definitely still too early to talk about any of that because I don't want to unintentionally create any expectations around how that feature would look, except to say that yes, replaying variants will be a part of it. And like, so I mean, if you wanna do durable deep again, which would probably be easier now with a lot of the champions in the game, but yeah, like that will be an option. But would you enjoy doing a durable deep to level 350 or 400? Maybe not. Any chance we could get Jarlaxle's affiliation set to Bree and Dareth? That's a great suggestion. I'm gonna make a note about that because it should be. Wolf Solaris. I thought I heard it mentioned before, but is there any chance to push the front line back for the mobs a bit? Hard not knowing what my tank's HP and shield are doing. Oh god, yeah. So, the difficulties around seeing tank health when mobs are on them is is part of like a greater UI question, in that we need to make changes to the default interface around that, and it's kind of like we're not going to do that and just change the tank health. Like if we're going to do it, we're going to try and do it just once and like overhaul and iterate on a new design for it. And it's just like it's kind of like on our list of things to do that's further down than a lot of the other priorities. But yeah, it's there. Oh, I got an answer about why the last event champions have been released as a slot 1 golden epic, and Chris just says honestly that it's a coincidence. So, yeah. Let's see. Any chance at a reorganization of the event achievement screen with the UI refresh? I like that the current level is on top, but wish that there was a faster way to find achievements after I unlock someone by a time gate. Yeah, I mean, that's good to know. I mean, I can pass that feedback along. I don't know when we're going to get to doing the interface, but it's good to know that there's a bunch of things that, had we known then what we know now, we would have approached differently. All right, so it might be too similar to the last question, but how do we find out if a character is from year 1 or year 2 or whatever, other than looking up a wiki? We don't delineate year 1 versus year 2 on anything other than when you're in the event seeing it or looking it up on the wiki. So maybe that's something that we should look at. I'm just making a note for Chris and Justin here. Like, yeah, okay. Black Soul Eternal, is there a way to import from Congregate to Steam? There is not, and it's not looking like a feature that we're going to implement in the future. It doesn't mean that the subject is dead forever, but it's not something that we're currently looking at. Lighthearted Old Gamer, welcome back. Hey there, Dylan. I am noticing that the game is still locking up and freezing whenever I use Ayla in my formation. As long as I don't use her, I can run the game a week straight without an issue. Any word on this? Open a ticket, please, so we can look at your game. That's not regular feedback that we're getting about Ayla, so yeah. Let us have a look. Alrighty. Any thoughts on the state of favor right now? I nabbed Azaka on console and immediately went from E13 to every favor buff in one evening, E18 to E20 range in all campaigns. So what you're saying is we need to absolutely destroy Azaka farming, right? But yeah, that's an interesting point that I will pass along to Justin and Chris, because it's certainly not intended that you can make a leap from some blessings to every blessing all at once like that. Yeah. Is that right? Could we get adventures and stories that don't just simply repeat at 50 and go on to... Probably not, because it would just literally double the amount of time writing and editing adventures. Like it's not that we'll never do a 100 area long adventure or longer, because it's possible, and it's well, some might say inevitably we might get there, but it's not something that we're looking at doing right now. Kind of surprised that Caddy Bree didn't also get any additional party DPS upgrades. As previously, that was about the only leg up she had on Minsk, and her buff from Wolfgar is largely irrelevant as she attacks the furthest enemy and Wolfgar attacks the closest. Those are all good points, because the Companions of the Hall just don't perform like we'd like. Though I am a fan of the changes to Caddy Bree's critting. I just think that she just needs a little bit more. Maybe an additional ability would be enough to make her be a viable DPS in that slot. All right. Will the mess of overlapping debuffs on enemies be addressed in the UI update? I mean, it's possible, but I mean, there are a lot of different debuffs in the game now, which is funny because like when we started, there were none, and now there's quite a few. Yeah. Thanks, Rand. Yeah, no, I am here to answer your questions as best as I can. Apologies, like I'm just a little more out of the loop than I usually am. So, yeah. I am going to be holding a contest on the first week of every month, offering a DLC package to the winner. Is the Steam community the best place to hold this, or is there a better location? Lighthearted Old Gamer, I would recommend Steam just because you are able to gift things through that platform, and other platforms, I don't know how possible it is. So, yeah. Not to favor Steam, but it's probably the best way to do it. Supply215, why do you guys hate dwarves? There are only 3. Well, there's only 3 kobolds. There's only 3 tieflings. So, I don't know. I mean, I feel like dwarves are represented about on par with a number of our other races. Yeah. I'm just, you know what, like, honestly, if anything, we're underrepresenting Warforged and Turtles. Yeah. Anyways, I think Kat is using the restroom before joining me, so I'm just going to adjust my seat here and reach over into the void. My face disappears. And grab Kat's chair and just sit it there for when she wants to join. And, yeah, I am going to, because we will not be able to see the game while Kat is, come on in. I'm just going to pull up the thing and switch over to the other thing, and then I should probably turn on Kat's mic.
Only if you really feel like it.
I do. It's hard to hear what you're saying without it.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And this gray void here is what Photoshop windows do when they're shared in XSplit when you don't have
anything open?
A file open, yeah. And then it's like blink becomes the file.
Yeah. And just get nice and cozy.
This is the only chair that you can do this closely with because the arms fold in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, stream.
Yeah, and then I'm just going to turn it over a little bit. And then I will lean this back, and then I will continue to look at the questions.
Okay.
On my blinders, there are no way to see the stacking buffs like Bruner's Rally. You kind of have to go into the character background screen to see that stuff. So yeah, you're not blind. It's it could be done a little better on our part. And I'm just going to mess with the camera settings for a second here because you know, photons bounce off things, and sometimes they don't bounce as much as you think they're going to. And yeah, so I can do that. Cool. There we go.
Well,
that's a little better.
Well, I'm here. Hello, stream. I'm not certain what I'm going to be drawing. If anybody's got a request or an idea, let me know, or else probably just try and figure out some way to do Spurt, being a gross boy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would. Did you end up doing a finalized version of Tethys?
Kind of. I haven't really drawn her since she got vampired.
Since she became a badass undead warrior with super high stats?
Yeah, that. Uh-oh, where is it?
Oh, now it's picking it up.
No.
Now it's not picking it up. What just happened?
I don't know.
This was working before.
Yeah, I came and tested it and fixed everything. No, even these buttons aren't working. Oh, well, It's kind of sensing that it's a thing. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, I see. It's still limited to the screen on that side?
No, I fixed it.
Okay.
It just, I don't know, I guess doing this woke it up, maybe.
Huh. Computers.
The mystery of technology.
Yeah, that's what I get for setting this up 2 days ago.
It's okay.
I just wasn't sure what kind of time I would have, so.
Oh, jeez.
Getting back in the swing of things. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm going to bug Dave about getting some better articulated arms for this so we can have something that's down and pointed down at us.
Mm-hmm.
because that will make it really easy to talk without having an arm in your way.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
So you think I should draw Tethys?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'd be down.
Unless you want to draw Veshok's death.
Well,
Implosion.
I mentioned this to Alexis, but it was such a good battle. I was kind of considering doing a little like comic thing.
Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, the like slightly homebrewy version of the Devourer or whatever it is that Adam put together was tough as shit. It was like, it's like pop, almost all your health. You're like, oh god.
Yeah.
So.
It was definitely cool.
Yeah, and then we're like, wait a minute, no, I'm resistant to necrotic. Oh,
yeah.
Thank God. Yeah, I'm not dead. Anyways, I'm gonna take a moment since I can't touch the computer.
Yeah.
And replug the giveaway that we're doing this week. So, if you are in chat, you can participate in our gold supply chest giveaway that we do now, so that we're always giving away chests that people like. But then if you check out our handy Gleam link, the awesome John Paul at Gale Force 9 sent us these. They are collector's edition minis, D&D collector series. And so there is a unpainted minis for the Xanathar, Halaster Blackcloak, and Archon the Cruel, complete with his Hand of Vecna. And so we are doing one Gleam giveaway for all the goodies. So sign up and you will have a chance to win all three, and then we will ship them to you. And hoo boy, will shipping times vary depending on where you are. If you are in Canada, it will be fast. And if you're in the United States, it'll be kind of fast. If you're outside North America, it could take up to months. So I apologize in advance if that ends up being the case. We have sent things that have taken over 2 months to get to some places. Sorry, Australia. You are not a convenient shipping location for physical objects. But yeah. Yeah, 1 to 3 months, Garwar said. It's true. It's an interesting thing that is inconvenient at times. Cries an Australian, yeah, pretty much. What city in Canada are you guys located? We are in Victoria, BC, Canada. Victoria is one of the nicer cities in Canada. We're biased, of course, but I mean it's a big, small town. It's walkable. The weather is probably more agreeable than just about anywhere. That said, if you have allergies like I do, Victoria has an anomalous climate in that, what was it? My mother-in-law is a botanist, and she was or horticulturalist, and it was explaining to me what makes Victoria significant is that I guess they measure how fertile areas are by zones, and so most places are just like a few zones, and it's like there are plants that fit into the categories based on all the different factors, and Victoria is like double or triple the average in that way. It's like 8 zones worth of plants, so we're unusually hospitable to a much more diverse range of plant life than the vast majority of places. And it plays havoc with people who have any kind of seasonal allergies because we get everything. So yeah, it's pretty wonderful. I mean, it makes for great things like Butcher Gardens and the gardens that they used to have at the Empress and a lot of other beautiful things, and our cherry blossom trees and all this other stuff. But it also it's real bad if you get the sniffles when spring rolls around, like I do. Which is why my eyes are a tiny bit puffy and my sinuses are dry to the point where they're uncomfortable. Because I'm on antihistamines. Otherwise, I'd be talking my nose is super plugged and it's stuff constantly, So, yeah.
Because that's the image you want to put forth on stream.
Totally, yeah. I'm seriously while we're at the descent, I'm going to ask Satine what to do about eye makeup to make me look less tired. Because if anybody can figure that out, she would know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I love Victoria. I'm always happy to be home. One of my favorite things to do is to, if you're flying from Seattle or Vancouver, is to take a float plane over, because you fly right into downtown Victoria, landing on the water right downtown, and like you walk out onto the dock and like you're downtown. It's awesome. So yeah, Dylan should just wear an orc mask to stream. I could, but then how would you know that it's me? Yeah. Though I am strongly considering making a full-on cosplay and just streaming as that and wearing that to events, because that would kind of make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing people do.
It's true. I'm just not gimmicky enough, you know? It's just like a dude wearing a hoodie, sitting here, you know, unshaven, long hair. Yeah. End stream reveal, it was Chris all along. That would be really funny, actually. if we could pull that off in a way that was good. Like have me doing the audio, but Chris sitting here and like do a digital puppet. Like I could use the cartoon version of me for one of our streams. It's pretty rudimentary compared to the more updated puppets that Scott and Corey have made for Binwin and Crowy, but it'd still be me awkwardly swaying and talking with like hilarious facial expressions. So, yeah. Oh yeah, right. You have that sweet mace.
Yeah.
Can I take control for just a second?
Yes, of course.
All right. Straw Spurt dressed as Chris Perkins, somebody suggested. So I'm just wondering, okay. Will we ever see adventures with randomly generated enemy types rather than always static? That is a great question I cannot answer, Silisa, but that's an interesting thought.
It's a good idea.
Will there ever be a map that has 11 to 12 slots? That's also a really interesting thing. So that brings to question all kinds of things about balancing and stuff. But, you know, we got to hold some thing backs for future iterations of the game. Alrighty. Gudrun wants to know if you've done any Mad Mage lately. Are you playing in any of the Mad Mage campaigns?
I have not done any Mad Mage stuff. I
know
know Adam.
Chris?
I think Adam's running it. Or no, they have to finish Dragon Heist first, and then they're gonna.
Clive's gonna
run it. That's right.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Clive's gonna run it, and then Adam and Alexis and some people outside the office are gonna play it on. I think they do Wednesdays now.
Yeah, yeah. Who did the artwork for Ayla? I believe it was Alexis.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was drawing Ayla before I left, finishing that up. And then Wolf Solaris. I had a rough day at work, and I'm currently drinking a nice sidecar. Ooh, what are yours and Kat's favorite drinks when you're winding down?
You wanna go first?
Sure. Scotch, neat.
No, that was fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, which specific one varies entirely on my mood, but it's nice to have a number of bottles to choose from.
I basically don't drink.
That's a good choice, actually. It's a healthier choice than I make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally, mostly in the winter, I will have polar bear, so just like hot chocolate and peppermint schnapps.
Oh.
And just like a capful. Like
Yeah.
Very little.
Yeah, if I could have hot chocolate, that would be awesome.
That's the only alcoholic bottle that is in my house is like a one bottle of peppermint schnapps I've had for like 3 years now.
Yeah, well, people don't, like, nobody's going to steal it, right? Like, nobody's going to come over and be like, oh, I'm going to get wasted on your on your schnapps and just, like, pouring full glasses. Oh, God. It's so sweet, it would murder your brain for, like, 2 days afterwards. Lauren's in chat. Hi, Lauren. I did not catch you earlier. Polar bears are good. They are. And you should get them now, before they go extinct in the next decade, since that's how things are going. Optimism. Drinking is no fun when you want to focus on what you are doing. I enjoy living day to day as is, so I don't drink either, Kat.
I mostly just don't like the taste.
Fair enough.
And I just don't see the appeal, basically. Like, anytime I go out with friends or we have, like, a little party or whatever, like, one friend in particular is really into beers. And so he's getting all sorts of different things all the time.
There's always one, yeah.
And so anytime we go out, like, people are getting whatever, and it's always like, oh, have a taste. And it's like, okay, I'll have a taste. And so he's like, yep, I still don't like it. But I try.
Yeah. I find like, beer is an acquired taste in that, like, you know, when you're young in high school, you drink crappy beer. And I'm not going to name crappy beers and start a beer fight in chat, especially since there's a number of Americans in chat, and I tend not to like a lot of the mainstream American beers and speak down about them all the time. But you drink a lot of garbage, and like you're like learning how to do it, and it's like a coming of age thing, and it's all this stuff, and it's like it's actually not a good hobby at all. And you know, when I think back to what I was like as a teenager or even in my early 20s, and like how unhealthy those decisions actually were. Not that I was unlucky, you know, like I don't have any lasting issues related to those things, just other bad decisions I made. But it's just like, yeah, there's that, and like people who get into the habit of just drinking or drinking socially. But I don't know. I mean, since my spinal injury, like my sense of smell, like just went crazy better for some reason.
Oh.
I couldn't tell you why. Not coincidentally, my sense of taste has been getting radically more sensitive, and so it changed the nature of my relationship with things like wines or whiskeys. And I still don't like wine because I find them too flavorful, like they're just too rich.
Oh.
There's too much. But it just made me learn to love things like a good, you know, 12, 18 year, whatever, single malt, because there's like you can taste what went into it in terms of of the effort in crafting it, but also every ingredient, the barrel, how things were smoked, etc. Like there's just so much to it. But yeah, having more than one or two, unlikely. Unless it's my birthday and I'm hanging out with my dumb friends, and then we're all gonna.
Sure.
Yeah, but I don't. I'd rather be sober. I'd rather be awake the next day. I'd rather have my day, usually. Actually, when we do work trips for Codename, whomever is there tends to drink a lot of old fashions.
Yeah, definitely. There are drinkers in the office, which is like whatever. You do you.
Yeah.
But the first Christmas party, my first year was like, oh no. It was like open bar, and people are like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "I don't want anything."
They used to do an open bar?
No, okay.
Oh.
So the very first Christmas party that I was at,
Eric.
this was like almost 4 years ago now. We rented out the upstairs of the Guild downtown.
Okay, yeah.
And so they like hired a bartender and had open bar, and presumably there was too much money spent because we haven't done that again.
I already know who it was, and I wasn't there.
Yeah,
But I know who it was. Yeah, open bar is an interesting thing. Like on that note, when Catherine and I got married last summer, not having an open bar was a deliberate decision for two reasons.
Right.
One, because we wanted our bar to pay itself off, and so having worked in hospitality and having friends who worked in hospitality, we developed a menu and priced it out so that it would pay itself off. So I think beers were either $2 or $3 for a pint, which covered the cost of the kegs, and mixed drinks were similar. Just price of ingredients, basically. But also, when you have an open bar, you waste more than twice as much alcohol as you do otherwise. People will get a drink and be like, it's free, and they'll like put it down. I forgot where my drink was. They won't look for it. They'll get another one. And so when you clean up afterwards, there's just booze everywhere, undrank booze.
That was basically what somebody said to me at the Christmas party. It was like, well, you can just try whatever you want. You don't have to drink it. And I was like, I don't want to.
Yeah. No,
I just had like a Coke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's drinking is an interesting thing.
There was this crazy thing at that party that was like, no, I forget all the alcohol that went into it, but there was like a sprig of rosemary that he would set on fire and then put into it.
Like smoked, charcoal rosemary and drink. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
It became super popular.
Oh, of course it was. There was fire. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see. General question. Just started playing the game, but I'm a huge R.A. Salvatore fan, and I was wondering if there are any plans to put in Thibbledorf Puent. It's your favorite named character, Kat. Thibbledorf Puent.
I know nothing about this guy, just his name, and I hate it.
Are there plans? I can't comment on that. Yeah. Let's Let's see. What's his name? Mercer? No. All right. I'm gonna need to scroll. Can we get a better idea on the Founder Pack's retirement than this summer? We were just giving our official notice that it is being retired this summer. It's not how that all is happening isn't locked in and defined enough to give anybody a further update on it. But we said we would give notice, so consider notice given. And it'll be retired this summer.
Sound like my landlord.
We'd
give notice. Here's your notice.
Summer for us runs from mid-June officially until mid-September. So, to give a little bit more of an explanation. Do we have any new familiars to look forward to in the upcoming? You will. But one of the reasons we haven't included more yet is because we have not developed, refined, and finished an updated system for familiars and familiar saves and familiar functionality as a quality of life improvement yet. So when that happens, expect to see more of them. It'll be like Pokemon, man. You'll have to catch them all. Let's see. Is slot 3 the designated graveyard for all champions Chris Perkins has killed? Well, we're 50-50 right now. So what we should really do is reach out to Chris Perkins and see if he can't kill off Nayeli Goldflower and Grommet Hander and just make it official. Just off him. Like, maybe the cover of one of the books is a dead Nayeli, with like a nondescript dead turtle. Since as far as I'm aware, Nayeli has only been on the cover of the Sword Coast Adventures Guide.
I believe so. She was pretty hard to find reference for.
Yeah. I know there's a bit more to it, but it's funny because some of these characters, like some characters were created for board games or for a card game or from some obscure thing, or like there's whole hosts of them created for the Baldur's Gate games and like a lot of other stuff. And then some of them are, book characters or whatever. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mars says that those are some scary eyes, and he loves it.
Good. Tethys has gotten a little scary, but she's a water genasi by birth, and then in the progress of our Curse of Strahd campaign, was killed by Strahd and turned into a vampire.
Yep.
But she's a cleric of light of Lathander, so she was able to come back to the party with full faculties. And it's been pretty interesting playing a vampire. Like, super powerful. That health regen is certainly something. I've been tanking quite a bit.
Yeah. Near max stats for the physical stats is pretty nice too.
Yeah. She already had really good strength, but her dex was like 10, so now her dex is 18. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I can do whatever I want.
I'm going to do a backflip this time.
Yeah. And spider climb has been super useful, especially on the really big monsters that we've fought. I just climb up them.
Yeah, you've done that twice, actually.
I did. Once.
Yeah. You're always reaching into them, trying to get stuff out of them.
Yeah, well, the first one was the, treant thing, and it had swallowed Alexis's character, Morgana.
Who had failed 2 death saves.
Yeah, and that was the battle where Tethys was coming back. So it was a little bit of a plan to be like, okay, we have to give Veshok a good reason not to hate her immediately upon being a vampire. So I was coming in to save you guys. And then the more recent big flesh abomination was also reaching in for a party member, but it was for Peter's character, Afard. And Peter stopped playing with us because he's very busy. So Afard was just sort of became an NPC and was hanging out at the winery with the Keepers of the Feather. And now he's a naked zombie somewhere on the astral plane.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which might seem like a big leap, but there weren't that many events between them.
Yeah, collapsing dimensions is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
If you could smooch or hug one champion, who would it be, and why would it be Spurt 20 times? If I could hug a champion, I don't know. I feel like Gromma would give the best hugs.
Yeah, Grandma would be a pretty good hugger.
Yeah.
I'm not big on hugs, but a grandma hug, I could go for that.
Yeah. Or Rosie. Rosie's tiny. So Gromma. Yeah, Gromma for hugs. Lighthearted old gamer. Question for Kat. Do you enjoy Game of Thrones? And if you do you find it influences your art at all?
I have never watched an episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, no?
No. When it was first, like, happening, I was interested in it because, like, oh, medieval dragons, blah, blah, blah. But I just never started it because I had this problem actually starting series. And then there was the, like, portion of time where there was kind of controversy about how much, like, sex and nudity there was, and I was like, I'm not into that.
Yeah. And it was justified, that controversy, too. Like, they were overdoing it.
Yeah. And then I just stopped caring or following, and now suddenly it's ending, so I'm like, I'm not gonna bother now.
Yeah. It's come a long ways, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so there may have been sort of subconscious influences, because, like, obviously I see stuff about it in the, like, pop culture sphere, but nothing I could think of consciously, because I never watched it.
Yeah, I mean, you're unlikely to have the imagery on it impact your art if you've never seen it.
Yeah. I would say the most it's impacted is when I've done the Game of Thrones inspired events in Crusaders. Like, the first year I did it, we did a robot Daenerys and a zombie Jon Snow. And I think that was the time I spent the most time looking at Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah. That show's got a budget. I mean, their costumes and everything are world class, for sure.
Yeah. I think the biggest influence I've seen just artistically is the way they made dragon eggs look. A lot of people latched onto that design with the, like, scaled cover.
Oh, yeah, the scaled eggs.
Yeah.
I was thinking back a ways, because that was, like, the first season.
Like I said, that's when I was paying attention.
Yeah. Huh.
And I still see scaly dragon eggs quite a bit, and I hadn't before then, so, yeah.
Let me know when I can
go
scroll
right ahead.
down. There's, like, no hotkey button I can hit at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just one question.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you could draw an epic ancient Illithid owning some adventurer wannabes and teaching them what for.
I mean, I could. Whether I will is
Don't they get, like, more, like, they go from 4 mouth tentacles to 6, and they get, like, freakishly long, and, like...
Do they?
Yeah, there is, like, an evolution to mind flayers over the course of their lifespan.
I didn't know that.
As they, like, move their way through the hierarchy.
That is very interesting.
Eventually, they reach a point where, like, the elder brain has a whole bunch of them at this level, and, like, if something happens to the elder brain, one of them can become one, or they can, like, branch off and make their own hive. But yeah, there's which books are it in? Like, you see it every once in a while in some of the art where, like, there's the ones they have, like, 6 tentacles, and they're, like, way longer, and they have way more spells, and they're just, like, much more dangerous versions of mind flayers, as if they weren't already dangerous enough, eating your brain.
Yeah. Yeah, but as far as, like, drawing something, drawing is my job, and drawing for fun for myself is not always easy to find the time for. What I would basically be saying is, you should pay me, but I don't take commissions, really, only for, like, friends.
Well, and for Extra Life.
Yeah. Which I don't know what I'll be doing this year, so.
Based on how we wanted to scale down Extra Life by making it 10 times bigger this past time around, who knows what's going to happen? I mean,
no idea.
I think we'll probably start planning it a little further in advance this year, though.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah. And we have that whole mobile streaming station still sitting
Yeah.
there.
I mean, I think last year worked out really well.
It did. Yeah. It was a rocky start when we were, like, super unclear on what we wanted to accomplish with it, but it came together really well.
It did.
I only regret being too tired to stick around and watch people eat all the hot peppers.
That was something.
I did watch the video of it.
I did too. Everybody's crying by, like, 20 minutes in.
Oh yeah, it's hard not to. Your body, like, just starts reacting to it.
Yeah.
I don't know about 5e, and I skipped 4e, but 3.5 had Lords of Madness with a chapter about mind flayers. Yeah, that's taking me back. I have a hard time remembering anything from 3.5, and I played a bunch of it, and I read a ton of books, and it just did not stick. Like, I don't still have that info. Whereas lore, of course I still remember lore, because I'm a nerd. But, like, it's easy to remember stories.
Yeah.
Funny thing about AFL is that I heard Will Wheaton rant about Chris Perkins killing his Eladrin character in D&D Online. I didn't know who Chris Perkins was at the time, and then I started watching Akank, and when they went... yeah. Rest in peace, AFL. Let's see. Now that Spurt is in the game, can we expect Vox Machina or Mighty Nine champions coming to the game? Or was this easier to do because Spurt is Chris's character? I can't really comment on whether or not other Critical Role characters could make an appearance. We would love for that to happen. That would be cool. A lot of love for Critical Role in the office, as one would expect in an office full of people who play D&D. And that would be awesome. But I can't... if anybody was planning on doing something with them, like if they were going to work with another company and make like a Baldur's Gate game or whatever, I don't know what their plans are. I can't imagine anything that wasn't signed and set in stone before their Kickstarter is going to happen or happen that way, because like they thoroughly redefined the value of their IP with that. Like they shopped it around Hollywood to get a cartoon series made and got rejected by everybody. And then their fan base proved what it was worth immediately. Day one proved that it was worth a lot. And it went on to break every record related to, Kickstarters for television and film entertainment. So, they went from being outside the mainstream-ish, as much as Critical Role is outside the mainstream, and, on the outside looking in to, I'm sure, many of the people who rejected them calling them up, trying to see what they could do now that the value had been proven. And, they're going to be so busy that I'm not optimistic about anything happening with them, minus the stars aligning. If they want it to make it happen, it will. But yeah, they're busy. 81,000, 80,000 backers. Like that is so much work to deal with. Just that. Like how do you get all that stuff out the door? And you got to hire a whole crew of people just to do that for the next year to make it happen. Like it's nuts. So, but it would be cool. It would be real cool. Yeah. Willow's Watcher, I'm loving your Tethys right now. Any chance of getting her in the game? I mean, there's a severe lack of Genasi. This is true, man. Chris.
I have thought briefly about, fantasizing. Not quite fantasizing, but just the thought of, what if one of my characters got in? And I don't know. I'm not, extremely... I'm not hopeful, that's for sure. And I'm not, jazzed about it. But, I don't know. I think we have way too many much more interesting and important people to go through. But thank you. I love Tethys too.
See you later, Black Soul Eternal. Have a good day. Can you hear the music through the headphones? Is it still going?
Ever so slightly, yes.
Okay. It's faint. There's an issue with the way that we have that set up, in that because it doesn't go through the board, controlling the levels on it and having it output through the stream in a way that sounds right is actually really hard to line up. So I kind of erred on the side of caution to make it quieter, so I can barely hear it. Mars wants to know if he could see the Tethys' character sheet.
Sure, I can.
You have a D&D Beyond link for.
I do.
Although, is it updated?
It's the right level, but it probably doesn't have all of her items and whatever. Although she doesn't have a whole lot.
No, most of the items bit the dust with Veshik, so.
I still have both the maces. They're mine. But yes, I could post it on the Discord or something if you wanted. We're level 10. We're in Curse of Strahd. Light Domain, Cleric, Water Genasi, and Vampire Spawn. All the Vampire Spawn stuff is basically just the actual Vampire Spawn stats, and then Adam sort of deciding what I do and don't get, which I think I basically got everything that they get.
I think so. I mean, it's in the monster manual under the vampire section. There's if a character becomes a vampire spawn, it's switch these stats to 18, do this, and add these things. And...
So she is technically lawful evil now when she used to be lawful good. which, like, I probably don't play up enough in roleplay, but I'm not really an evil character person, which I told Adam to begin with, and he was like, that's cool, I'll just tell you if, like, there's something that you should do instead. And it hasn't come up so far.
No, I think it's not going to come up until the party makes it to the castle. And then it's like, guess what?
Yeah, probably. Though we are trying mostly to get a diamond to kill and then resurrect Tethys as just a Genasi again.
Yeah, you'll lose your sweet bonus to initiative.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm never worried about initiative, honestly.
Players who can take a hit always say that.
I mostly play squishy casters, though. Tethys is definitely my tankiest character.
Yeah. My new character that was just introduced has some serious initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What class is she?
She is a multi-class.
Oh,
She
of
is
course.
a swashbuckler rogue and a draconic origin sorcerer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because she's a...
We'll see.
we haven't got into it, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of reason for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's she's also a Yuan T.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because the first version of her, I looked at it and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I just remade Veshik. I need to change this. Like, nope, took off Warlock altogether and changed it up. Yeah. But just trying to look at what kind of game mechanics do I want to play around with, and because at level 10 you're at the point where if you want to make one of those absolutely stupid, unfair multi-class combination characters, you can.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to do that because it's hard to balance around. Like, how do you make an encounter where you have one player who can run up 100, and it's just it's either dead or near dead, but every other player, if you're fighting monsters that can take those hits, they're monsters that can one shot and kill every other member of the party. So
Yeah.
The character is not overpowered, but they have some interesting quirks.
Mm-hmm.
I actually completely redid their spells when I remembered the fact that both you and both Tethys and Morgana have tons of they have fireball and other fire magic.
Yeah.
And because fire is so good for sorcerers, but I'm like, nope, I guess I will go away from fire. So
We could just be the fire brigade.
yeah. And then Adam's like, here's a thing that totally messes with fire, and you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Then we just have to, somebody has to take Elemental Adept,
Yeah.
which I almost did, but I decided to put my Wisdom to
What
20.
is my feat? I took Resilient Charisma for this character,
Oh,
so that they got proficiency in charisma saves.
right.
And also because with the +2 from Yuan T and the +1 from that, it was enough to max out charisma. So it should be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the personality dynamics, especially since they are not Veshik at all.
Yeah.
So it'll be a very different character. All right, question. The missions that feature a restricted or random roster of characters are the most difficult and the most interesting. Will we see more of those? And did you notice how I phrased the suggestion in the form of a question? I did notice that. And you will see more of them because they're kind of, they're interesting puzzles to work on in terms of developing content for the game, but also, it's no fun if for every variant you just use your go-to combination of champions. That's your optimal formation. That's no fun. So forcing players to switch things up and make that choice is something that we will continue to do. Yeah. Giant dwarf, Yuan T, swashbuckler / dragonblood sorcerer. That's a neat concept. I was originally considering going more levels in rogue with the character, but given that we are expected in the Curse of Strahd campaign to cap out at most at 12th level.
I think Adam will probably take us a bit farther. He's got, unique stuff planned.
Oh yeah, no, we're so going to Undermountain or Hell or something after this. It's not going to get better. We're going to get out of Barovia and be like, thank God we're out of this nightmare, and it'll be whatever it is, it's worse. So Yeah.
Man, were you around? Probably. I remember him saying at some point that, like, no, we'll finish this campaign and then I'm gonna just throw everything at you until you all die. I was like, what? No!
Oh, yeah, I remember when he joked about that, yeah. Yeah.
No, I want a happy ending. Or, like, an ending, not just death.
If you could have any one cantrip IRL from D&D, what would you pick?
Prestidigitation.
You know, I was thinking, like, Minor Illusion or Mage Hand.
Mage Hand's good.
I mean, it would be sweet to throw a fireball at somebody. Like, don't get me wrong, that would be awesome. But I don't know, like being able to reach across the room and like open the door with Mage Hand, you know,
Yeah.
or flick somebody in the nose or whatever. Any one of those things would be awesome.
Just be a jerk.
Well, I was mostly thinking about being lazy, but yeah.
Yeah. Lazy
yeah.
jerk.
I'm like just like from the couch, open the fridge, grab a drink, and then throw it to myself with the Mage Hand. Like,
Yeah.
Sweet. You know, like, oh man, yeah, I would do it. I'm typing and like typing with both hands and using the mouse. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I guess it depends on how good you get at it. But yeah, but like prestidigitation, thaumaturgy, druidcraft, those kinds of things, like all those like the really practical ones that are very versatile in their usage. They're all very
Yeah.
cool. I like them.
Same.
Yeah. Is there an image of what this mace looks like? Is there an equipment card for it?
Yeah, it's the Mace of Disruption.
Okay, I've never actually seen the image. So
I
it's
vaguely
kinda
remember
neat coming.
what it looks like. There's like a sun sort of symbol at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Prestidigitation has too many normal uses to not have IRL. Cleaning stuff, simple tricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine like you're oh, my laundry's dirty. No, it's not. I'm gonna put my shirt on again. You know, like
This is my favorite shirt. I can wear it forever.
that would actually be sweet.
Yeah.
Like you get caught out in a shitty weather and like you get in and you're just like, I'm good. Walk
Yeah.
away. Oh man.
Yes.
I can borrow the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That works because it's not bad. And just a second. All right, Mikkel Jellison. Is it worth saving gold chests before I unlock Azaka? I'd like to get her geared up as soon as possible after unlocking her. So if you have at least, ideally epic, but at least rare equipment across all of your champions, yeah, save the chests to deck out Azaka immediately. Like when I unlocked her, I used 50 chests on her right then. Got her all purple. Didn't get her as much item levels as I would like because it was spread across the other core champions at the time. But yeah, no, saving chests for those kinds of things, and like saving them for other unlocks that you know are coming. That kind of stuff is it's all good. I'm gonna take a moment to plug this again for one last time on the stream. Our Gleam giveaway this week is for this. It is. Wait. Sorry.
Okay.
Collector's Series Unpainted Minis for the Xanathar, Archon the Cruel, and Halaster Blackcloak, courtesy of Gale Force 9. The awesome John Paul sent this our way. And so whomever signs up for that Gleam giveaway, the winner gets it all. Full package this time. And yeah, good luck. And we will announce the winners on next week's stream. Which, not coincidentally, will be my last stream before going away again. So, yeah. Hire me to stream, then I'm never here. Like,
I'm getting to be like Eric, never in the office.
I was thinking about that, actually. While I was on vacation and then, like, coming back and transitioning in, I'm like... Because I know how much extra work it gets pushed on to Clive and Chris when I'm not here. And, like, I did what I could to mitigate it before I left, but, like... It's not really feasible to always complete extra weeks of work at a time before going away, especially if I end up going away like once a month. And so luckily it looks like it's going to slow down after the D&D Live thing, I think. I don't think I'll be going away again until August, as far as unless something comes up that I don't know about.
Is that the next PAX?
PAX West for sure. And then it's possible we might do another event in August, but it's not likely.
Okay.
So, yeah. Is there a Spurt Mini? I have no idea, but I would guess not.
It's probably there might be a Kobold Inventor.
That was where I was going to go. The Kobold Inventor is almost exactly Spurt. I mean, he's got the skunk in a cage on his back. He's got the staff with the scorpion on the end. He's got all the gourds and stuff. So like, you know, Spurt was very much based out of the Kobold in Volo's Guide to Monsters. So there might be a mini of that, but there's no, you know, Spurt mini that's actually Spurt. You know, like Archon the Cruel, who I swear has more than one mini now, I think.
I think so.
But this is the one with the Hand of Ekna. You can kind of see like the green flame on his hand. Green flame. Yeah, at least that's the way it was painted on the mini. It's very cool. And his like really nice legs. So weird.
Oh yeah.
He's just got like
I remember pointing
he's just got
that
like
out.
nice muscly legs that look, I don't know. It's got legs. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, it's this really noticeable strip of red right up. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's because he's not wearing pants, right? Like he's got
like it makes sense like
he's
design wise.
He's got armor in the places and then like bare legs in
Yeah.
other parts. And you're like, oh,
sort of loincloth thing.
yeah, his like sort of like tabard.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, tabard cloak combo. But yeah, I wonder if. I mean, they only show it from the front, but does he have a butt? He's wearing his shield on his back, so I guess you probably won't get to see. Anyways. Yeah, somebody's got the green flame thing. Yeah, green flame. Good old Akink. So it's quarter 2. We're getting close to the end, and we're going to, you know, wrap this up. And it's been nice to come back and chat with everybody again. What else? Is there anything else I should be saying? The running is going to be running right through this week. In fact, one might even say that you can unlock Spurt for the next 11 days. And then after that, you guys can expect some... There's an update that week, the week that this wraps up. So I think it's May 13th is the day that the running, the second year of the running, wraps up in-game. And then that week you can expect an update with ties to a popular show and to our campaign, and it'll be sweet. Mars is requesting that whenever you finish this sketch, that it get posted to the Discord.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and of course, you know, the tweets. The grams. All the places one can
Tumblrs.
expect art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, anything I can tell us about daily quests with the C team? I don't know that we're doing daily quests with the C team, but we're doing something with the C team. I pointed at the wrong camera there and totally fucked that up. Oh wait. Anyways, yeah. So we're really looking forward to that. That's something that people have been working really hard on for a while now, and people and players have been asking us about when we're going to do the next thing. You know, similar to the High Rollers event in game. So yeah, that's coming soon. Assuming it's ready on time, which all signs point to yes, but you know,
Just
it's
to
the
be
world of
the
video
jerk,
games.
did Chris's survey ever come out?
What survey? No, he totally didn't. The only person who's ever surveyed our fans is me. So, which I will be probably, I will do either next week or when I get back from the descent. I will be asking for feedback about our year 1 and Evergreen Unlocked champions. So, you know, I expect that to be interesting, but that will be disrupting one of our Q&As because those kinds of things are disruptive. But we're you know, we are curious what you think. So, and we do read all the feedback. Can I spoil who will be included in the weekend buffs? You know, yes, I can. Alrighty. And there's always a chance that this will change. But for now, it looks like it's going to be Dadius the Scarlet, Krond, Valanya Umbarar, Makos, and Tyrell Tallguy as the 5 champions in the buff. Yeah, for a Feywild themed weekend buff.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Anywho, yeah, I wrapped up just a tiny bit faster than I thought I was going to. It's like it's 10-2 now, and I'm like 6 minutes. But you know what? It's also okay to wrap up a tiny bit early. So congratulations to the winners of our giveaways in chat today, and best of luck to all of you who are interested in these. Some one lucky player will receive these at the leisure of the Canadian Parcel Service or what have you. It's been nice to come back. So first things first, this is the end of our show for today, Thursday, May 2nd, 2019. So thank you all so much for joining us and for participating in the Idle Champions and Dungeons & Dragons communities. You guys are awesome, and like what makes a community good is participation, and you guys participate, so thank you. This show exists because of a number of amazing people behind the scenes. I can't tell if that's a typo or if I actually meant to do that, including my co-producers, Erica and Clive this week, as well as our partners at Dungeons & Dragons, Greg, Bart, Pelham, Allison, and Xiaoling. Huge thanks to Kat for joining me on stream today to share our mutual love of art and D&D.
Of course.
Welch's Game Juice is coming up next, followed by a showboat nerdy-ass voice actors playing Dungeons & Dragons at 7. So have a wonderful weekend, all of you, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah. Bye-bye.